that is what I'm talking about. What's good, YouTube? As you saw in the introduction, today was the end of the water fast. I got through all 120 hours perfectly fine, did all my sprints, runs, training, and all that. Felt great. I am well adapted to fasting, so I would say if you're going to just start fasting, do not start at 5 days. Do not start anywhere close to 5 days. You're going to have to work up. But yeah, so that's what I basically broke my fast on. I also have some pictures of some meal prep that I did today. I'll go ahead and show you that. There's a little bit of a clip which I should insert here shortly, which shows you how I save money, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and insert that right now. I am by no means a professional at this, but the way we like to save a little money is we go to the fresh market and they have sales. This is like $8 a pound, right? For the entire loin New York strips. So what I do is I have this nice knife and I use that as my measuring edge, and I use this finger and come in here, and then that's where I draw my mark, right? It's kind of hard doing this and filming at the same time. And they say you're supposed to do this in one slice. So again, I'm not a professional, so I go forward and then backwards until you get yourself a nice steak. And then this is the quality of steak, right? For $8 a pound. Versus 14 and stuff. Now, I may trim this up and whatnot, but I like all of this fat, especially when it renders down. So I leave this, but you could very easily just take this entire cap off if that's what you're looking for. But I, again, am after the fat. And as you saw, we go get a full, sometimes they have rib loins. Sometimes they just have New York strip loins. It really just depends. But today they had New York strips for like whole loins for like $8. So you buy a whole loin, it's like $110 on average for the loin. You cut that bad boy up into 12. And I mean, if you're eating like a king and then you mix that 50-50 with ground beef and eggs, well, I mean, eggs are more expensive than steak right now. But you mix that stuff with sardines and eggs and ground beef and other like more cost conscious, you can eat 2-3 pounds of meat a day for less than $20, right? Or right at $20, which if you go to Chick-fil-A or you go to McDonald's or any of those places or Firehouse Subs or whatever, God forbid you go to Five Guys, right? Like you go to Five Guys, you're going to spend $25 just on one hamburger for one meal. Yeah, you get 4 pounds of French fries, but it's not worth $25. But yeah, so as you saw in the intro, that's how I cook my steaks. I have an IR grill. That bad boy gets those things up to 1500 degrees. Sear them on a cast iron pan. We've tried many experiments of different ways. Definitely the best is in that cast iron pan. Get it up in there for 3 to 5 minutes, preheat, warm up, throw those bad boys in there. 3 minutes, flip them, 3 minutes, take them out, let them rest for 10 minutes, salt them a little bit, and you're done. Super crispy. I was trying to go after that Ruth Chris, like crisp style, like outer shell on the edge. Super moist, juicy, and tender. Medium rare, perfect medium rare in the middle. There's that. I also, at some point, I got to show you all my over easy or easy boiled eggs that I make in my hot pot, right? So if you go into the Instant Pot and you put the eggs in there and then you do all that type of stuff, God, I can't remember the timing off the top of my head, but there's a way that you pressure cook it. I think it's for 3 minutes too, oddly enough. And then once it's done, you blanch them real quick and then you like shell them and stuff real quick. And those are perfect, like ramen noodle, you runny yolk, perfect eggs. So, with all of that being said, I was 239.4, I think it was yesterday, and I was 236.1 today. So that's about 15 pounds total that I'm down, which is pretty good. I did my runs yesterday, sprint runs. It was pretty hard. Heart rate was hard to recover from as expected, right? Like I was able to maintain the pace that I was supposed to maintain. I was actually a minute faster on the pace than I was supposed to be for the 40-second sprints, but it was hard to recover from. And like I'm not out, and it's like I've done this for a long time. So it's like I would obviously not recommend fasting this long and doing this much training if you're not used to it. So got 2 pounds of steak in basically today. I did drink a cup and a half of milk with that. It's JD Farms, JD Dairy or whatever. It's like the least processed milk I can get my hands on. It's lightly pasteurized, has the cream top. It's just super good milk. Like I could drink a gallon of that a day, every day. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. Sleep was good until it wasn't. The last 2 days, my sleep score has been substantially lower, and the graph is just straight downhill. I think I reached that point of where in the fast, my body is just ready for me to go conquer and get some food. So today, breaking fast definitely felt right. It felt honorable. There are some times where I can feel like 7 days is no sweat, 10 days is no sweat. To be completely transparent and honest with you, today was easy. Yesterday was hard. It was a struggle to get from day 4 to day 5. But I mean, I'm already 80%. I'm not going to give up. It's like I have goals in life and I have goals in mind. And this accountability vlog really kind of helped me with that, right? Like I know that I can look back and there's a record now of me saying that I did something hard successfully and I didn't give up, right? Doesn't mean anything to anybody but me, but hey, whatever. Um, Sorry, I'm looking at my gimbal. It has a tendency. I've never liked this gimbal. I've had it for a couple years, and it always tracks like to the left. It just continuously like seems to like get further and further. And I was trying to see if it was tracking my face, and maybe I was moving that direction, but it's not. That's besides the point. Tangent. Sleep has been okay, but not great the last 2 days. I've done the weigh in. I've been keeping up with the water for sure. Exercise I've been doing. Today was a recovery day, 135 for 26 minutes. So I basically just went on a walk. And I didn't do the actual run. I just did a walk because I definitely could feel that I needed that recovery. Which, sometimes you got to honor your body. It doesn't matter what your plan says or what your training regimen says, or, if you're going to the gym and it says go in there and do another set of push-ups, pull-ups, dips, squats, whatever, and you're still too tired from the previous like session, you got to honor that, right? Like you got to know that's what you got to do for yourself. Outside of that, feeling great. New York strip, we had a ribeye today. No, today we had a porterhouse. So I got a New York strip with a little filet on the side, and then I ate about another half of a filet or half of a New York strip. And then I ate some shrimp, and I'm probably going to eat some sardines here later. I got my milk in. I mean, I'm kind of on like cloud nine right now, right? Like I finally got all this food in me. It's feeling amazing. I'm going to eat again tomorrow. And then I may move into a sardine fast or just pure carnivore for a week, just to see how my body regulates that. It will be interesting for me to see how much weight I add by in the morning. I'm expecting it to go up 3 or 4 pounds for sure. So if I'm back in the 240s, cool, right? If I eat 2 or 3 days in a row, I expect 8 more pounds because a lot of what you lose is water weight. Now, some of it's inflammation water weight and some of it's just pure water weight because you're dropping carbohydrates and your glycogen is getting your muscles are getting rid of the glycogen and all that stuff. So you're losing water, right? But I also know that I burn about a pound to pound and a half of fat each day that I'm doing this because my maintenance, my TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure for me is about 3,500, right? And I've calculated it multiple times and then I've eaten that way multiple times and it is dead on accurate. Depending on how much running and how much jujitsu and how much this and how much that I'm doing, I'm 6'2", I'm 250, was 250. 3,200 calories is about my maintenance. So I know that's kind of hard for a lot of people to believe. A lot of people find it hard to lose weight maintain at 2,500, but that's just where I am. I don't, Oh, I got my final medal. Like I was telling you, my niece and I, we do this training session. We did the Conquer series. So we got the final medal, which is this one. And it's really cool. I have to show you, but essentially you got a ring with the first one because the whole thing is you're taking the ring on the journey. And then as this like opens up, you put the ring in here and then you get to throw it into the mountain. So you get to throw it into Mordor and burn it up just like they did in the movie. We really enjoyed that. It took us a year, I think a year and a half maybe, to do that whole thing because there's one of these segments that was 600 and something miles long. And I got in a lazy phase and only wanted to run like 30 miles a month, 40 miles a month, right? So like that was pretty slack in there. Outside of that, life is great, chugging on. If there's anything you want to know, let me know in the bottom. God bless, and thank you for showing up.